Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin dominance and the fact that we've got this pretty bullish W bottom pattern forming right off the longer term support right around 39%. And I'm going to discuss the implications of the Bitcoin dominance experiencing some sort of rally and move back up to the range highs right around 48%. So if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and check that out as well. I am fairly active over there. So with Bitcoin, we really have the dominance just retesting this longer term zone of support right around 39%. That was the level that held all the way back here in May on this first big drop down in that big altcoin season. We saw that hold as support for the dominance and then a big rally back up into the range highs, and that resistance right around 48% came back down to retest it later on in September of 2021. Another retest right here in January at the beginning of this year. And then again, that we have seen a double bottom pattern form over the last few months with this first retest in September. We had a video published right around this time frame talking about how we might be experiencing a pivot point on the dominance. And we also had that retest throughout November. So it has held on multiple attempts, and we're starting to come back up, making a higher high on the dominance, really just taking out these October highs right around 42%. So overall, this is a pretty bullish looking chart for the Bitcoin dominance, just given how we've had that support hold. We've got the higher highs and we're starting to see a positive reaction off of those lows. Now, the overall implications of this would be that Bitcoin is going to start to become more and more dominant, where it's going to gain market share over the altcoin market. So this would mean that all the altcoins would start to have a really weak performance with respect to Bitcoin, and those alt Bitcoin pairs are going to start to see a continued move lower, a continued bleeding of their valuations with respect to Bitcoin. And I really just want to show you guys a few illustrations and examples of some pairs that are already experiencing that. And they do look quite weak. So we're going to start off here by looking at Cardano. This one is coming back down to retest these lows from back here in May, and it's starting to break down. We've got a loss of support on this daily chart, and it's making these multi-month long lows, where if I zoom out all the way, this is a very key region. If Cardano with respect to Bitcoin really loses this level, it could have a continued and deeper pullback into this bear market on its Bitcoin valuation. And this is just some of the examples we're going to be looking at, some of the more popular tokens, because they do actually have a much higher market share with being the higher market cap tokens. So the next we're going to be looking at Dogecoin. Dogecoin with respect to Bitcoin is starting to take out these lows from back here in November. Yes, it did have this massive spike up, big pump, but over the long term, you can see that starting to break. This looks like a pretty significant lower high when I zoom out here all the way, and I would not be surprised if Doge on the Bitcoin valuation continues to bleed, lose that market share and valuation with respect to Bitcoin, leading the Bitcoin dominance up higher. Next, we're going to be looking at DOT. Again, same story, same situation. We're taking out these lows from all the way back here in May, really just coming back down to retest the support, and it's looking weak here. It's looking like a lot of other altcoins where they're not holding up too well. They're looking like they're on the edge of a cliff, where if I zoom out here all the way, the next big support region for DOT is this low from back here in 2020, in the end 2020 December. You know, that's much further down from here. So if we get that breakdown, I really wouldn't be surprised to see a continuation over the next few months, losing valuation with respect to Bitcoin. And this has just been the name of the game with the altcoin market ever since that peak and that bear market started back in November of 2021. So lastly, I do want to look at the avalanche Bitcoin ratio. This is really holding up a little bit better, but again, still weak. We're still retesting the lows from back in May. We're still on the edge and the threat of losing support and breaking down further from here. And if I zoom out here all the way, again, it's really got this big support level that it has to get back down to on the long-term time frame. If it is unable to hold this support, you know, you could see how quickly it could get back down to those levels, especially if I were to take a bar pattern of the most recent leg down after we lost support. You know, you can see how steep these moves become when I just drag it over. It's not out of the question to reach that valuation. And if the Bitcoin dominance were to continue to rally back up to that range high, that is what I would expect with the rest of the altcoins. I would expect them to bleed it with respect to Bitcoin. I would expect them to have much weaker performance, where potentially they're starting to lose their own lows, while Bitcoin consolidates and it really just hangs in around $17,000. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I will leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.